I just really love antique books, so many that I'm so excited to share with you. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Juana de la Selva. I want to make this YouTube channel all about books. I'm one of the most passionate readers that I've ever met, other than people on the internet, and I want to be one of these people contributing to this conversation about books because books are one of my biggest passions in life. I have a huge collection of antique books and really old books. I have such a huge library. I read several books a month, and I'm very into them, and I want to be able to talk to them with other people who are into them, and I watch a ton of BookTube, so I want to share with you guys my unique books. I love history and postcards. I'm a deltiologist, which is a fancy word for someone who collects postcards as an amateur hobbyist, a deltiologist, and a librarian, and I want to share with you my passion for books and reading. This book here that I'm holding, this strange little book, is a book I found that is written in Dutch, I think. This might be the only copy that exists of this book, because I haven't found another one anywhere. That's why I really want to reach out to people on the internet so I can get more information about these treasures that I find, because I know some of them have this energy where I'm like, this is a magical thing, and I know nothing about it. So it would be really helpful for me to have other people give me information about the treasures that I find. The reason this book is special is it's filled with these very cute little iconic drawings that are very simple. They're like little line drawings just with blue ink and black writing in Old English. It's so visually beautiful. But it looks very innocuous, right? It's just like this couple and like flowers and hearts and stuff, and you're like, oh, how cute. There's like little people and they're dancing, and then I'm like, oh, this lady has really big boobs. And I'm like, wow, you can see her nipples. And then I realized that this book is filled with very strange and provocative imagery about like men and women, and like it's a very sexual book. And I think I know what it's about somewhat, but I really don't. It's basically about these couples, and they dance with each other, and then they like have sex and they have babies, and yeah, this book is a treasure to me. Another one of my favorite books that I own is this one, the illustrated, hassle-free, make-your-own clothes book. It's from the 70s, from specifically 1971, and it's so cool. It's got these pictures, like hand-drawn little illustrations. Everything's very imprecise. They're like, you just measure around your own clothes, man. And they show you how to make like a wizard costume and very silly things from the 70s. Like, look at this cover. This thing is a treasure to me. This is one of my favorite articles of clothing. This is one of my favorite things that I own. And wrapped up all my books in cloth so that I wouldn't damage them. This one here is a special treasure that I was wary to even bring out of my household. It's Tennyson's Poems. And this is from like 1860, let's see. It's, if you're into poetry, you know about this poetry book. I got this at a Goodwill in Southern California, and when I went up to the register, the guy was like, oh, this must be pricing correctly. And I'm like, well, too late now, give it to me for $3, man. So this is a total treasure. What I love about this poetry book is he writes about all these women as though they are like the love of his life, but he's like, Madeline, your eyes shine like the river. Claudia, I've never met a woman so fabulous as you. Jeanette, your hair is like the waterfalls of... I'm just like, dude, players, timeless players, it never ends. So these are rare book series. Hopefully this, let me know if my hair is burning. These are Introduction to Freemasonry books that I found at a rare bookstore, and they are legitimate. They are from the Grand Lodge of Massachusetts. Yeah, so this is like the secrets of like how to be like Illuminati. These two books I just found the other day. These were a total treasure. I found them in a secret place. I'll never tell you where I found these. This is Sir Thomas Mallory's La Morte d'Arthur. I mean, who held these books? Who made these books? This is these are treasure. I was gonna try to read these books, but I found a very obscure review on YouTube that said that they are very hard to read and that they're very, of course, misogynistic because women were treated like cattle and possessions back in the day. But it's basically about a bunch of like duels and like medieval times, King Arthur kind of thing. So these are worth a lot of money, and I'm excited to have them in my collection. I don't know if I'll try to read them. I think I'm gonna try to read all my old antique books. Might be a really hard thing. I might regret saying that. Last book to show you today that I'm so thrilled to show you is The World by the Fireside. This is like my treasure of all treasures. The inscription right here, I'm like scared of the flames next to it. The inscription is 1898, and you can tell it's written in calligraphy because, like, it's beautiful. Can you see that? It's incredible. I'm very careful with this book because it feels really fragile. It's also really heavy. So it's from like the late 1800s, 1897. And this book has the most beautiful illustrations I've ever seen. Not really. not really at all. But it's got really beautiful illustrations in a style that I adore. And what I love about it is that a lot of the illustrations were done before they really understood the like actual, and that they couldn't take pictures and then draw the picture later. They had to just draw from life. So oftentimes the anatomy of the animals is very incorrect. But I find that fascinating because this is a very perfect example. The shark. That's not actually what sharks look like, of course, but this is the best depiction that they could get from just seeing it in real life. So I feel like this book, what I described this book as, this book was like the internet before the internet was the internet, you know? Like you come home from your travels on your horse after being on a ship, and you bring home this treasure that you got from who knows where. I feel like this is just a very important and special book. So I'm going to end this here. These are my favorite books. I'm going to have a little moment. I show you all my favorite books. Group hug. Gosh, I'm careful. So thank you so much for watching. I really look forward to this journey of sharing with you my love of books, and I hope to find other people who adore these old things that I just have so many of, and I really feel like it's an important responsibility for me to take care of these books and to share them with others, and to share my love of reading. There's another YouTuber, his name is Better Than Food, and I love this YouTuber. He's from Portland. He grew up in Powell's Books. The first time I went to Powell's Books, I cried because that bookstore is like a magical wonderland. But that guy, whoa, I almost dropped my books. That guy always says, bring a book with you everywhere you go. You never know when you're gonna have a few minutes to read, and that's what I've always said. You just never know. I always have like 3 books on me just in case I finish the book that I'm reading and I want to start a new one, or maybe I don't feel like reading the new one and I want to have an alternate new one. So I always bring books with me everywhere because you never know when people are gonna you're gonna be in a waiting room, or you're at a stoplight, or you're having to wait for your friend or something. Like if ever that happens, I'm never ever disappointed by that because I'm like, ooh, an opportunity to read. So I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you feel inspired to read. I hope you like my books, and thank you for checking out my channel.